Patiently waiting for a pod to explode on. If you stun if you want, then your ass will get rolled on. Feels like my pod's been hot for so long. If you're thinking ringside renaissance is so gone.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You are now listening to the Ringside Renaissance Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Ringside Renaissance. And we're here with our SummerSlam review. Yeah, for WWE, the biggest party of the summer it was. And it was crazy. And I'm here with pretty deadly Jesse.
Yes, boy.
Yes, boys. And I'm Andrew Kombat Jones. Yeah. And we're here bringing the juice, ready to go again. SummerSlam was crazy. We're coming off a high of SummerSlam, right?
Yeah, man. SummerSlam was good. It was It kept me engaged the whole time, and actually like every, I don't know, every single match, kind of like we said before, kind of had its own little special like reason for us to want to watch it, and it didn't disappoint. Right. I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, every match had like a meaning at SummerSlam. Yeah. It wasn't just like some random filler matches or like random rivalries. They all pretty much had dream matches. Yeah, they all had titles, or they all have titles. No,
Pumpkin Drew was the only one.
True, but it had a bracelet.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh, it was crazy though. Yeah.
It looked hot. It looked fucking hot there. Some of the wrestlers just walking to the ring were drenched in sweat.
Yeah, it looked hot. But man, that was like a big stadium. I was like watching it back, looking at it. I'm like looking at the seats, like even in like the stands that are like low, kind of low to the ground. I'm like, screw that shit.
Yeah. The floor seats that were way far back. I had said, I was like, there's no way if you went, you'd even be able to see anything. Like, and just let us know in the comments if you did go. I know a few people that follow us and subscribe messaged us and said that they were at SummerSlam. So just let us know how the views were, how the aura was, how the atmosphere was. Like, that'd be really cool to kind of get some feedback on that.
Yeah, definitely. And I also liked how they did like the old school videos for like the preview of the match, right? How it kind of had them moving for a second, like brought it back to the old days, the golden era.
Yeah, nobody does video packages like WWE. Like,
yeah,
for years, like you said. I mean, way back when,
Yep.
I remember WrestleMania X7 with The Rock and Stone Cold, and they had the Limp Bizkit song for like the build up of the match, and it was just like just going back and watching it now, it just gets me so, I know the outcome, but I'm so hyped for the match,
Yeah, and even if you just hear the song on the radio, that's all you think of now. Like,
right.
Yeah, and we all loved freaking Limp Bizkit back in the day too. We can't lie. Yeah. Yeah, the graphics were sick too. Like I said before, all the rock and roll stuff. They had the guitars and all that, and it was a cool package altogether. It was presented pretty well. What did you think about like the entrance stage though? I thought that was a little lackluster. I expected a little bit more than that.
Yeah. It was kind of just, and for I don't know, it seemed like they were kind of just like trying to make it as small as possible to get more seats in and stuff. But like you said, I mean, around the actual entrance and the little screen, there could have been a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in that long entranceway,
yeah, longer than the Royal Rumbles are to run in half the time.
Kind of made it, if there's a big return, it kind of makes it take a little bit longer than maybe it should have. But
that's true. Shit.
I liked it. I thought there was a lot of big moments for a big PLE. Like, realistically, this is like kind of like the number 2 behind WrestleMania. So,
right.
They didn't disappoint as far as that goes. you know, like I said, I have a little bit of critiques of stuff, but that's what we're supposed to do here. We're not supposed to just fucking, you know, eat the ass of Triple H every time like he puts on an event and say it's like great. You know, we're supposed to just give our opinions on it and how we felt. So, but yeah, overall, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, me too. I think I give it like an 8 out of 10, maybe 8 or 9 out of 10, something like that.
I don't know. I always give it 7 3/4 every time, but you know.
Oh, okay.
Best
Fair
I can
enough.
do.
Fair enough.
That's the best I can do.
Hey, I guess it's because I'm a little bit shorter and a little bit skinnier. I guess I'll take it.
Trying to say I'm fat now? What the hell?
Well, no, but you know, I'm definitely.
I got you.
Yeah.
I guess for further ado, before we get canceled, we break down some SummerSlam for you guys. Hope you all liked it. And hopefully we hear all of you guys' feedback and comments, how you felt about it. Like, share, and subscribe. Like we always say, it's redundant, but
the pre-show was cool. Like the day before, the little show they did and had their, you know, they've been doing that every PLE now, wherever they go.
Yeah,
try to milk it. But
and when they have, you know, and I beat this to death, but when they have Pat McAfee there and they have him with Michael Cole, I think it really brings out a good personality of Michael Cole. Like,
yeah.
Michael Cole is the face of, you know, the voice of WWE right now, and like he's kind of always just kind of been like a, you know, just like a cookie cutter commentator and stuff. But I think with Pat with him, it really brings out his personality, and it just adds to it. It just adds, for me, it just adds to it to have two guys that get along, and you can tell they get along. And
yeah, it kind of knocks him off his game a little bit, because Pat gets him outside his comfort zone and gets him to laugh and says like stuff that other announcers normally wouldn't say, for sure. Because Pat can get away with it. So yeah, it was cool though. Good build up.
And it also, it's very much people like identify with that. You know, when you're like a robot,
right?
Whatever, commentator, podcaster, comedian, whatever, performer, people kind of just see through it and see you're fake. But when that real personality comes out, and that, you know, I think people kind of resonate with that. So
right,
it's real good.
SummerSlam.
Yes, let's go. Let's go. SummerSlam opened up in Cleveland, Ohio. Like I said, it looked hot and sticky. And
yeah,
I know for you it was hot and sticky for other reasons, because we opened up with the Women's World Championship.
This is my brutality.
The challenger, Rhea Ripley, accompanied by Dominic Mysterio versus
Dirty
the
Dom.
champion, Dirty Dom. Very dirty after he's been with Liv, but
yeah,
Dirty Dom versus the WWE, Rhea Ripley with Dirty Dom,
right,
versus WWE World Champion, Liv Morgan, to open up the match, or to open up the event. Kind of a surprising opener for me.
Yeah, I was wondering where they're going to go with it. She opened up WrestleMania too, right? Was it the first night? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Rhea's crazy too. Like everything aside, like her tattoos are sick too. I don't know if she got more like on her torso or her stomach, but she looks sick though. Yeah, like her look is killing.
She just looks like a star, you know what I mean? And a believable badass that could whip your ass in the ring, you know?
Yeah.
And during the entrances, I looked at it and I said, is there any way realistically that they're going to make Liv Morgan have more than 2 offensive moves this whole match?
Right.
Like realistically, just looking at them, I know it's a world of kayfabe and whatever, but realistically looking at Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, is there any way they can believably make it that Liv Morgan was going to get more than 2 moves offensively the whole match? You know?
I was a little worried for Liv, absolutely, going into this, you know, even being my champion, but she didn't disappoint. And I was surprised, actually. I thought it was a decent match. Like, I don't want to say she did better than I thought she would, but I thought that they had decent chemistry in the ring for the most part. And there was a couple spots I was like, yeah, okay, I'll just get into it. Just get into it.
The whole fucking,
and it wasn't even on Liv's part. It was the fucking dislocated shoulder part for me that I just didn't like, the whole banging it into the announcer table. Like, you could have just had like a doctor there ringside and be like, set it, and
Yeah, right.
It would have looked more believable than you keep banging your shoulder into the table like,
Yeah,
you know.
well, it just okay, so a lot of people online were like, was it legit? Was it selling? Da, da, da. It had to be selling because they had to do something like that to make it believable for Liv to have a comeback.
Right, because,
Otherwise, it would have just been a squash,
because it went on throughout the match. So it was definitely planned.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, if she had seriously dislocated her shoulder, there would have been a doctor that came in and looked.
Right.
Like people have a like just like a hairline cut above their eyebrow. Doctors come and look at it now. So like if someone had seriously dislocated their shoulder in the match, there would have been a doctor that at least came over and took a look at it and saw what was going on. So, but she sold it well. She almost oversold it a little bit, but what you're going back to with Liv looking good, I think a lot of that has to do with Rhea being able to sell moves so well.
Right.
Like that DDT that Liv gave to her, like Rhea sold it so well. Like it was just, or that crucifix bomb that she did. Oh my God.
Yeah, because
everything was so good.
Turned the Riptide into a DDT, and Rhea landed like right on the top of her head and did like a front flip off of it.
Right.
And that was great. And then the crucifix driver, that was sick. Liv's been doing that lately, that move, and Rhea sold it great. I don't know, and I think the Oblivion is a great finishing move. Like, there's a lot of finishing moves out there that these people do that don't look that great, and I think it's a good one, and it's kind of reminiscent of MJF's move too, somewhat off the ropes.
Yeah. And boy, you can't bring up Liv without MJF, huh? So, there's different spots in this. Like, okay, well, can I just kind of gear towards the finish? So, Liv brought in a chair. Rhea took it away. She hit the Riptide or whatever on. She hit her finisher on Liv, and then she went to grab the chair.
Oh shit! You're right.
And when she went to swing the chair, okay, so earlier in the match, Dom was with Rhea.
Right.
At one point, Liv went to dive on the outside, and Dom pushed Rhea out of the way and took the dive. And then Rhea went to use the chair. Dom grabbed it, said, no, you don't want to do that. You'll get disqualified. But then slid the chair in the ring, distracted the ref. The ref got the Live for Tomorrow, the Oblivion on. I don't remember what the fucker finisher is.
Rhea got the Oblivion on the chair.
Right. And then 1,
Rhea.
2, 3. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
And afterwards, so Liv Morgan retains the title, and afterwards it's revealed that Dirty Dom's with Liv now. And right there, I kind of like thought about it, and I said, so Dom was like helping Rhea the whole match, not only just like cheering her on, but literally pushed her out of the way of a dive.
Right.
Grabbed the chair from her. Now, if he was working with Liv, why wouldn't he want Rhea just to hit Liv with the chair? It would have disqualified Rhea. Liv would have kept the title. So why take it from her just to turn around and use it on her? So I'm like, this turn doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and why wait the whole match? You could have thrown her off her game like earlier in the match too by turning, and it would have definitely distracted her. I understand what they did to wait for the end to do the turn, and kind of have that smile on his face. But
they could have not done the spots of like him pushing Rhea out of the way because he's purposely helping her there.
Yeah, I wonder
just to turn on her. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
I wonder now on Raw, like if he's going to explain himself. He's got to, for the most part. I'm sure it's going to happen, right? That's normally what they do when they do a turn like this. I wonder if he's going to say that he decided like in the match, you know what I'm saying, or near the end to turn because of the chair thing and kind of use that criticism, you know what I'm saying, of what people are kind of saying, or if it's been all along that he's going to say that he's been planning with Liv all along.
Yeah. Because if we want to live inside the world of kayfabe, right?
Right.
If Rhea would have hit her finisher on Liv and then not gone for the chair and just won, then what would he have done then?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like for a turn, like she could have just done her finisher and not grabbed the chair and had the whole spot, just pinned her, and then the turn would have never happened. So I understand it's predetermined and shit like that. I understand it, but to try to keep some sort of level of believability in it is important too. So if all those events didn't take place the way they did, and I'm gonna come back to this in a later match, it just kind of just didn't make sense to me. So
yeah, it was kind of weird now I think about it. That makes sense. I wasn't really thinking about that at that point. I mean, I kind of was. I was like, this is a little whatever, but I was so blinded that Liv won and just so happy and jumping with joy. It was like the beginning of Deadpool. I was doing the NSYNC bye dance, you know.
Good call.
Yeah. But they got this Bonnie and Clyde thing going now, huh?
Yeah. And I don't want to say this to sound like whatever. I'm just going to say it and leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the beginning of the end of Dom's like career. Yeah, not career, but like main focus.
Yeah.
Like, how long is he going to be like the henchman of like, and I'm not saying it to sound disrespectful or anything, but he's been the henchman or the, you know, the side thing for Rhea for how long?
Mm-hmm.
Now he's going to be the side thing for Liv for how long? You know what I mean? Like,
he's a glorified side piece.
Right. And like, how long is that going to have relevancy? You know, like it just, I don't know. I don't foresee it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see it having the same luster as him with Rhea.
He's going to have to turn back on Liv and go back with Rhea and then go back babyface, or has that ship sailed with this? Is there no redemption for him? If would Rhea take him back, do you think, or
time will tell?
I don't want to criticize too much. I would have liked to seen some like tears in Rhea's face or her in her eyes at the end of it too. It kind of looked she was like laughing for a second,
more pissed off, like angry, laughing.
She looked more mad during like the interaction when Liv did the twirl on Raw a few weeks ago with the booty shorts. That whole segment, you know, but.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, time will tell. And then people on the internet that were like, "Oh, Dom fumbled this," and have a picture of Rhea. Like, first of all, you're fucking weird for constantly reposting pictures of female wrestlers half naked. I'm just gonna say it right now. Like, I'm gonna draw a line in the sand here. Like, you constantly posting pictures of female wrestlers half naked to get views and likes. You're fucking weird. You need to reestablish like your life a little bit.
Right.
But also on top of that, like, they know Rhea Ripley's really married, right? Like, this is not a real life scenario. Like,
they're all
and
married.
I'm sure,
yeah,
right. Well, except for Liv, she can't even keep a boyfriend. But hi, Bo Dallas. So, but I'm sure you liked it. Dom posted a picture on social media later, him with his chicken tendies, and
oh yes, those. Yeah, she took him out to a high class spot for chicken tendies too. Oh yeah, those chicken tendies weren't no dinosaur chicken nuggets. Those were the full enchilada.
They weren't Tyson. Those were
that was quite the kiss too, huh? I mean, somewhat.
It looked disgusting. Yeah.
Well, that's, you know, I guess it's allowed when you
my grandmother more convincingly than that.
When you get paid that money, I guess the significant others are kind of gonna be like, okay, I'll look the other way. Yeah.
Right.
For entertainment purposes, of course.
Yeah. So Liv Morgan retains the title. She has custody of Dirty Dom now, and I'm going to look the other way and move on to the Intercontinental title match, which was next. It was the challenger, Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Braun. Oh, that's Braun Strowman. Versus there it is. There it is. Versus the champion, Sami Zayn. You know, this has kind of been a build up, a rematch from Money in the Bank, constant. I took my eye off the prize thing, and we all kind of agreed, even with Adam with hitting the turnbuckle last week, that Braun really kind of needed this. Otherwise, he might fall into obscurity.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't too much. I had high hopes going into this match. It was going to be fucking awesome, and I wasn't too impressed with this. It was just kind of felt short to me. It felt sort of.
It was a quick match. I thought it was quality over like a quantity long match of just like selling and making it longer, which they could have done, which they've already had matches like that. So I guess maybe they kind of switched it up just to do something different and make it look a little more convincing that Braun won so quickly. Right. That's all my thought about it. Or just to run longer on other matches, maybe, but
Yeah.
it was a quick, convincing win. Yeah.
Right. And I felt like it didn't really go along with the theme that Sami Zayn's had since before he beat Gunther, and then going through with that, I'm going to fight with every last breath, and
Yeah.
I'll never give up, and everything else. And for it just to be a quick match,
Right.
it wasn't a squash. Sami got some offense in, and it was back and forth. But just as far as I just thought it was going to go a complete, maybe because of my expectations on it, I wasn't really a big fan of it. At the end of the day, the right person won. Braun Breaker should be the IC champion. And
and the crowd was behind Sami too, but they were definitely also behind Braun for sure. Nobody booed when Braun won.
Right.
No.
And
yeah. Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah, and on top of that, it was like every single so usually big matches like this or whatever, you kind of pull all of your tricks out of the bag. And it was just a lot of recycled moves that they all did. There was nothing really new or different from their match at Money in the Bank. It was kind of the same hits, just in a different order.
Yeah, I agree. So. And they, the commentators, they did a good job of explaining like the history of the Intercontinental title and all the people that have won at SummerSlam.
Right.
They kind of set that stage and talked about it before and during the match too, so you kind of knew what was coming, I guess, right? But it was cool, I guess that's a big thing to win the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam and be amongst those big names. So good for Braun Breaker, though. I seen his family was in the audience too.
Oh yeah, Scott and Rick were there.
Yeah.
And his and in the media scrum or like the press conference afterwards and stuff, he sort of broke character a little bit and really kind of spoke about the lineage of the IC title and how much it meant to him to carry it, and that he was going to try to carry it with honor and prestige. And like he even put over Sami Zayn, saying Sami was like a great champion. And so it's cool to see that he actually has like compassion and like heart for the business, so a lot of like second generation wrestlers can kind of lose that a little bit, but it's cool to see that he legitimately seemed like he had respect for it.
He seemed pretty humble with it, which was cool.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. It was cool. Yeah. It was a quick match. It was what it was. I don't think it was bad, like a bad match,
No.
But
I said, I think it was just my expectations.
Yeah. No,
like,
I agree.
I expected it just to be like a fucking brawl out, like whatever.
I expected more. I thought it was going to be longer at least.
Yeah.
And
on top of that, maybe they're moving Sami off to go into something else. I don't know. But I wish we could break it down more. Like I said, there just wasn't too much interesting, or not interesting, but nothing different or whatever. But.
And after that, before the other match, we even got Pat McAfee. They were talking about WWE 2K24, and he was trolling the fans that had a little bit of hate about it with Michael Cole.
Yeah.
It
was beautiful, man.
Yeah.
All love and respect for that, bro.
Yep.
You know what? If you don't have haters, you don't have anything. If you don't have haters, you must not be doing something right. So,
yep.
It is what it is. Moving on, the next match, which kind of fit into the card here, we had the United States title, the champion Logan Paul defended against the challenger L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
There it is.
And frickin' Logan Paul comes out with that shit stain MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, which I had some bit of respect for and appreciated before he started his whole beef with Slim Shady and got totally dismantled, but with the kill shot. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, it is Cleveland, whatever. Logan Paul, MGK. I was happy with the crowd. They were completely booing Logan Paul. From what I could tell.
Could you think of anybody less intimidating to come out to the ring with than MGK?
Yeah, we all remember. Yeah, we all remember the spot that he took that sucked with Kevin Owens. He couldn't even take a kick to the midsection to get set up for a power bomb to go through a table. Like, what was it, like 10 years ago?
10 years ago,
Yeah.
And it was like I saw like he was sitting there with the security jacket on and stuff, and he turned around and I said, if I was going into a fight with anybody and he had MGK representing him, I'd feel a lot better about my odds in the fight, you know. So
yeah, it's too bad LA Knight couldn't have brought out Eminem. Then he would have really been shook. Yeah,
fucking imagine.
He would have wrecked him. He would have wrecked him. Yeah.
But yeah, so at what LA Knight did bring out was the Prime truck, and
yeah,
he got out and smashed a window out of it. Took him a couple shots, but we're not going to hold it against him.
Definitely wasn't real glass. So
no,
don't cry me a river. Yeah.
For me, this was match of the night for me. I thought this was really good. I thought this was really well done. Logan Paul impresses. LA Knight impresses. LA Knight doesn't have to overdo things in the ring. Like he's really good with what he does in the ring. You know, there was it just like Logan Paul got his spots in. They weren't overdone. They weren't whatever. Everything connected really well.
Yeah.
They didn't have to overdo this match. They didn't overbook this match. It was just a cut and dry match. They had a couple really high spots in it. I really liked the springboard moonsault that Logan Paul did. Looked phenomenal.
That was amazing.
There was one point where Logan Paul was down on the mat and LA Knight was on the second rope, and he jumped up to the third rope before he gave the elbow drop. Like I thought that was really cool. The avalanche brainbuster suplex thing,
that was so sick,
brutal, man. But I really liked it. What'd you think about it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I had, you know, in my notes was those spots. I'm sure everybody did. It was amazing. Even Logan Paul's ring attire I thought was sick. Like when he came out with that whole freaking vest thing on, that was cool. Yeah, man, he was great. LA Knight went to hit the BFT, the blunt force trauma.
You got something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Logan Paul held the top rope and kind of reversed it so he couldn't get it, and it sent LA Knight driving towards the floor to take it himself. I thought that was cool. The only thing that didn't make sense was like the punches from Logan Paul throughout the match. And then he finally, you know, they're punching each other back and forth. He's punching him with the right hand. And then later on down in the match, he hits him with the with the right hand that he's been hitting him all along with. And it doesn't knock him out because LA Knight only takes, it's a 2 count, right? He kicks out, which is cool. I mean, I appreciate the spot and all that because he's selling that move, but in reality, he's been punching him with the same hand the whole match.
Right.
That was the only criticism I have for the match. I thought it was a great match. I give it like runner up to my favorite match of the night for sure.
I already figured that, but the cool thing about this is modern day wrestling, and a lot of modern day wrestling, I should say, there is never like a definitive crowd favorite. There's always back and forth chants, people cheering for one side, people cheering for the other side. It's just the norm in modern day wrestling.
Oh,
I don't think there was one person in that fucking stadium that was against LA Knight at SummerSlam.
No. And Logan Paul did good to taunt the crowd too when he was in the ring and get them against him even more. And MGK was, of course, out in the ringside with Logan Paul's cronies trying to intervene. And I will say Logan Paul does a better buckshot lariat than Hangman Adam Page does.
Oh man, shots fired by Kombat Jones.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? The way you flipped over the ropes like that? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Logan Paul's a natural. I can't stand the guy, but his in-ring work is really, really crisp. He doesn't really botch anything. Everything's really smooth and it just flows, you know?
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, like I said, LA Knight he looked good. He looked ready for it. I mean, he's a star. And these people that are like, oh, he's just a ripoff of The Rock and Stone Cold and these things that I've been seeing, it's like okay, so people say the Nature Boy Ric Flair is the greatest wrestler of all time. He was a ripoff of the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. Like, you know what I mean? Like Hulk Hogan was a ripoff of Jesse the Body Ventura and I can't even think of his fucking name right now. but superstar Billy Graham.
I was going to say Billy Graham. Sorry. Yeah.
Hulk Hogan was a rip off of Jesse the Body Ventura and superstar Billy Graham. So like, there's rinse and repeat shit in
they
wrestling.
All take stuff from each other and pay homage, or do
MJF
what works.
is like a homage to Roddy Piper, like
for sure. Yeah,
there's different things in it. It's like, man, just fucking let it go. Like LA Knight is a fucking star. He's over with the fans. He's great in the ring. He doesn't do all these flippity dippity shit, but what he does is really well.
Yep.
And I think they just had to let that go.
Yeah, and that's his. He MGK tries to give up the brass knuckles to Logan Paul, which was on his necklace. I can't put any brass knuckles on these necklaces, but because I'm not MGK, I guess. But yeah, it was on his necklace. He tries to hand it to. He hands it to Logan Paul. LA Knight tries to pull Logan Paul over the top rope and lifts him up and kind of gives him a headshot, top of the head with the brass knuckles, but it wasn't enough. I didn't think like the camera angle did it justice, really, for that move, but we all got the point in what was happening. And the commentary team, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Pat McAfee did a great job explaining it. So we knew what was happening, even if we couldn't like perfectly see it. So props to them. And it didn't work, did it? Nope.
No, he came in the ring, and it was a cool kind of reversal that they did into the BFT for the 1, 2, 3. LA Knight is your new United States champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's getting wore out.
Right. Yeah.
Thought it was great. My favorite match of the night. And at this point I was 3 for 3. But after this match, I was not undefeated because we had the WWE Women's Championship, Nia Jax, the Queen of the Ring winner, and the challenger against Bayley, the champion.
Right.
And I don't have much to say about this. I didn't like the match. I didn't enjoy it very much.
No.
There were some cool different spots in it. I knew what way they were going with it early on, and I didn't agree with it, and it took me out of the match, and I wasn't a fan whatsoever of it.
Yeah, Bayley's ring attire was sick. Like her,
it was almost like throwback Bayley to when she was in NXT, or even the Young Bucks. It looked like Young Bucks attire.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, the match was just like meh to me. Like I didn't think it was terrible. Like it had a few decent spots that kind of were like, oh, okay. Like when she first kicked out of the Annihilator from Nia Jax. She had that like kind of Uranagi throwdown right in the corner, which was cool. Yeah. Hopefully, I said it right. Whatever,
sounded good.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. We kind of didn't know what was going to happen. Of course, Tiffany Stratton had got her new briefcase on SmackDown. Right. You know, her special bedazzled pink blinged out Tiffy Time briefcase, but kind of came out to the ring. We were trying to make it seem like she was going to use it, but we knew most likely it wasn't going to happen. You're not going to get that new briefcase, like we said, and then it's going to be gone the next night. Like she's got to carry it around.
Selling it too. They're selling it in WWE shop now. They're trying to milk it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, let us know in the comments. Would that be a good addition to put in my background? The special pink Tiffy Time Money in the Bank briefcase.
Jesus Christ.
Or if you send enough likes, maybe we'll send it to Pretty Deadly Jesse's house, and he'll put it in his background.
I'll just put it under my bed and never use it again.
Pretty sure it's under somebody's bed with Nick Wayne's mom's fleshlight inside it.
In Liv Morgan's crusty underwear. So the only thing I really of note that I thought was really good out of this match was when Nia was on Bayley was in the corner and Nia was on top, and Bayley picked her up and walked out and power bombed her. I thought that was a really great spot. Yeah, she kicked out of the Annihilator at one point.
Yep.
But then just to completely, it kept Bayley strong because it took 2 power bombs and 2 Annihilators to put her down. But
yeah,
I wasn't a fan of this. I think Bayley got the shit end of stick with a title run. We'll see how Nia Jax goes.
and the whole Tiff running thing wasn't like too amazing. Like, you know, you get hit down just after you get hit in the face once by Bayley, and then you're done with it. Like, and she brought the referee like she was about to cash in too. So
yeah,
I don't know. And then the end, like they're just kind of holding each other up, like Nia and Tiffy. I guess, you know, they're together, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, in the interest of time, and I know that you're going to break this one down.
That
the
was
next
my
match,
least favorite match, by the way, of the night.
me too. Agreed.
Yeah.
My least favorite match of the night. Bayley deserved better, but I'm sure your match of the night here. Let me not step on it, but we had finally not the payoff, but we finally get a match in the ring. Drew McIntyre against CM Punk with Seth freaking Rollins as the guest referee.
Yeah,
and I'll let you take it away for this one because I'm sure you got a lot to say about it.
Yeah, I got something to say about it. I'm interested to see what you think about it too, from an unbiased opinion. But no, it was good. Like I expected like Seth's outfit to be like kind of like what he wore on Raw, and it was very bedazzled too for his referee attire. Drew came out, got a pretty good reaction. Yeah. Punk comes out, gets a pretty good reaction. The crowd wasn't like overall like popping crazy. I didn't feel like for the start of it, right?
No.
Yeah, but
I think they're a little bit burnt out at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of like the vibe I got. But I thought it was good though. Like the whole like match overall wise, like they didn't do a lot, but they still like got all their like spots in, right? And I really liked the ending, and for being like kind of nervous leading up to it with Punk being hurt so many times and everything. Like Punk came out and I thought he looked great. Like he was in shape. Like it's hard. He's so good at selling too, and he does it so much. It's a lot of times it's hard to tell if he's like out of breath or, you know what I'm saying? Or out of it, or just because he's getting the shit beat out of him. And he really needed to get the shit beat out of him for all the stuff that he had done. Like the match made sense and what they did, I thought, like the way it went, like, and he still got moves in too on Drew, but Drew clearly in reality is a big fucking dude, right? Like it all made sense in reality too. Yeah, I don't know what more you got. What do you think about it?
Like this was a match I've been waiting for. It was something I really, really wanted to see.
Did it live up to your expectations?
No.
Okay.
And this is why. Everything in the match kind of played out the way it should. And I understand the concept and the reasoning behind it, but I felt like Seth Rollins being the special guest referee took away from the atmosphere, like the height of like this blood feud.
Okay.
Because there was one point that Drew and Punk were fighting in between the ring and the announce table, and they were beating each other up. And I think they got hit off the stairs a couple times and just really kind of brawling. And Seth Rollins was just spinning around the ring with his arms out, and the crowd was just doing the whoa. And like, I was like, you're taking away from the match. Like he was and it wasn't just the crowd doing it. He was feeding into it and taking it in and like goading the crowd on. And I was like, it just was taking away from the atmosphere of the match for me.
And he's trying not to like count or whatever, count them out, or like when they use the chair, he's like, oh, look the other way, or to try to like go by his rules.
Right. Why wouldn't Adam Pearce just make this a no holds barred match if they wanted to be like this, you know? So it kind of just took away from it a little bit for me. When I saw him come out in like the muscle shirt, the ring shirt, the referee shirt, I said, oh man, they're going to do the Bret Shawn Undertaker spot. And they almost did. They paid homage to it because
for sure.
Seth went to swing the chair and Drew ducked and he almost hit Punk and like stopped, but it was like, that's what they were doing. Everybody knew that's what they were doing, you know?
They mentioned it too, like going into the match about the history of it too, the announcer. Yeah, it was.
Right. And, bringing the bracelet into it, I thought they did it really well.
Yeah.
It was a little bit oversold sometimes when like Punk was crawling towards it, reaching out for it. And
Yeah.
then when Seth put it on his arm and Punk was like freaking out about him, like
before like Punk saw that Seth put it on his arm, we saw it on the camera. And I'm like, because we saw that because Punk had originally grabbed it and then it ended up in the ring, right? Nobody had it, and then Seth put up on his arm. I did it nonchalantly to kind of get it out of the way. Obviously, that's what they were going for, right? And we all saw it. And once I saw that, I was like, oh shit, Yeah. When Punk sees that on fucking Seth, forget about it. He's gonna lose his shit.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
And like we said, another throwback to like the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels Undertaker thing. Punk had on the pink,
the black and pink trunks.
The trunks, yeah. So that was cool, man. No, like it. I thought it lived up to expectations. Like they didn't do too much, but they all, like I said, they all got their spots in. And I didn't see like the way that they did the ending with the bracelet coming. Like I thought it was pretty original. Like it's in reality, stuff like that has happened before, but it kind of caught me off guard. And that's not how I would envision the end going. And I was happy with it, even though I predicted and wanted Punk to win. Like the way it ended, I was fine with it.
Yeah, and also like you needed that special referee to kind of have that angle being played out.
Right.
I just thought like Punk being obsessed with the bracelet, like on Seth's arm and stuff, was a little just oversold. I think like, oh, you got my bracelet now. Like, I don't know. It was just kind of, I don't know. It just was a little bit too much for me. I get it, but it was just kind of too much for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it ended up, Punk finally got the bracelet. He turned around, got the Claymore, and
he gave a GTS to Seth Rollins right before that.
Oh yes, yeah, right. Seth Rollins, and he picked up Drew for a GTS earlier too. That was really good.
Yeah,
like,
they
really
both
well done. I didn't think he'd be able to get him.
No, it was impressive. Yeah, and Drew took like I think freaking 3 or 4 knees to the face too in the corner, too, which is good. And then Punk had his kick that he does too. Which was cool. Like they all sold good. Drew, like you said, Drew did a hell of a job putting Punk over even. Like, and for Punk to be able to hang in there and come back from injury, like I felt like I said it to you in the chat. Like I think Punk looks like he's in better shape than he was the whole time he was in AEW. Without a doubt, especially the second time he came back to AEW from the suspension. But I felt he looked way better for sure.
Yeah. And I think that they did a good job putting each other over. Punk looked good in his return match. A lot of people were worried about it.
Yeah.
And I think they saved a lot because they could have went all out and did a lot more, but there's a lot more of this feud going down the road. This isn't over.
No.
So why throw everything on the table now? They still have some stuff left for future matches, and I think that was really smart the way they did it.
Yeah. If Punk was going to lose, that's the way that I wanted him to lose. Like sometimes he's the only wrestler I feel like when I hate to go off on it, but like if I'm watching like the Knicks or the Rangers and they lose, you know what I'm saying? My team loses. I kind of feel like everybody hates to see their team lose, right? You get that feeling. Yep. You don't always get that in wrestling because, we know what it is in reality, right? Punk's the only guy, like when he loses, I'm like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? And he lost, but I didn't feel like that. I was like, oh man, I'm happy he's back. Like this feud is going to continue on. He still got his spots in. They got their spots in. Like the ending was awesome. Like I don't have any complaints. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Drew takes match number 1 against him, and there's a lot more going down the line. And
can't wait to see. Yeah.
Can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah. It's just with the whole thing with Seth brewing into it. It's just I can't wait to see what they kind of bring for us.
I would have liked to see more in like the press conference at the end, the post show or something. But we got Drew, of course. But whatever.
Yeah. So the semi-main event, the world heavyweight title, the champion Damien Priest against the King of the Ring winner Gunther, and this was just everything I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Just hard hitting. They were almost the exact same size. They were like an inch difference and like 2 or 3 pounds difference when they showed like the height and weights and stuff. And
true.
It was hard hitting. I think this was Damian Priest's best showing as champion. I think he really did well. He held up well with Gunther, like they did the power fighting back and forth, the slap spots and stuff. But Damian showed kind of his kicking style, like his kind of more agile style in it as well, and blended that in very well. Gunther's a fucking tank. Like,
it's not very often Gunther we've seen him in the ring with somebody that's like his size or as big as him. Like we all know
he's got to fight from the bottom.
Yeah, we all know we were supposed to get him and Brock Lesnar at some point, which we had never got, which would have been crazy to see them two standing in the ring. But Damian Priest was amazing. Yeah, I thought it was good. Like it was all it was going to be. I predicted Damian to win, and we figured with how things had went earlier in the night with Rhea and Dom that there was going to be some type of implications or turn or something, right? And yeah, I was kind of with like the ending and all that. I thought it was like, I'm not going to take anything away from the match. Like them two together in the ring, it was great, and I agree with you. It was probably his best match as champion. Well, yeah, as he was, but.
Yeah, the ending just wasn't.
I wasn't crazy about it with the way that they did it.
Yeah, so Gunther was beating down Damian Priest, and he was pretty much on top and gonna win, like the way they were building it up. And then Finn Balor came out to the ring and started like goading Damian Priest on and hitting the mat and chanting and cheering. And Damian Priest saw him, and it willed him to get back up and fight some more.
Right.
And then Damian Priest got the South of Heaven on Gunther. Gunther rolled over towards the ropes.
Well, Damien rolled him over towards the ropes too. Damien rolled him over towards her. I'm like, what? He's gonna grab the rope. He's gonna put his leg on the rope.
Yeah,
but he didn't even have to. Yeah,
right. And then he went for the pin, and Finn Balor, that dastardly devil himself, Prince Devitt, he put Gunther's leg on the rope, and the big turn of Finn Balor, which again, okay, this is what I was talking about earlier in the night. If World of Kayfabe, the South of Heaven would have gotten hit and Gunther stayed in the middle of the ring, Damien would have pinned him. There would have been no turn.
Right.
It was only that, it just happened that Gunther rolled over to the ropes, just enough space for Finn Balor to. If they would have wanted to do it that way, why not hit the South of Heaven next to the ropes? So there didn't have to be that whole rolling over and.
Yeah, and
I don't know. And Gunther realistically had Damian Priest beat until Finn Balor came out and made Damian want to fight back. So why even come out? Why not just let Gunther beat him? Why they're I don't know. It just, I'm being too critical, but
the way they did the turns
just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it was odd. And Finn Balor's like got his back turned towards the ring and like that sick smile on his face, and like in reality he's already a heel. He already turned, but he's turning again on Damien, so I would assume that's putting Damien over now, right? So is it who's got? I don't know where this is going to go now with Raw, right? Because obviously we have like a split in the Judgment Day, we'll say, and I would assume Rhea is not on the side of Finn Balor and all them. I'm assuming,
right?
I'm assuming it's going to be Rhea and Damien going forward.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like they're trying to have the same impact and height as like the whole Bloodline thing. Like the Judgment Day broke up, oh my god, and it just doesn't have that same feel to me.
People don't care as much about it as in the same aspect. They're not
a lot of ways I don't really even care about Finn Balor too much anymore. He's been a crony for so long. Dom's been a crony for so long. JD's been a crony for so long.
Right.
Like, how is this? Okay, so just say hypothetically it's Dom, JD, Finn, and Liv, and then you have like Damien and Rhea, and maybe Carlito's the middle piece or whatever. Who cares about JD, Finn, Dom, and Liv? Like, you know what I mean? Like realistically, like that's a faction. Like it's all the fucking guys that just get beat every week.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's tag team champions, but
that's
Judgment
true.
Day's been taking L's more than anything lately.
Yeah, we know Damien's going to end up getting his hands on Finn, and
right,
and that's how that's going to go. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And, time will tell with that one.
I guess
But,
they're going to have a feud now, though. But congratulations we didn't see it coming. Well, we seen it coming a long time ago with Gunther winning, right? But we kind of thought,
I think
we kind of got bought in, or I started this whole thing with Priest is going to win at SummerSlam and pull it off, and everybody's going to eat their words because we saw it coming that Gunther. It was obvious that he was going to win. He won King of the Ring. He's been so dominant, right? But all props to him. Congratulations, Gunther, new world champion.
And I just got to say, we were a little bit blinded by the light because we here at Ringside Renaissance, we love the DP.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anytime, we'll vote on DP over anything.
Oh,
so
for sure. Yeah.
When that kind of comes up, we kind of get blinded to the reality of what's going to happen.
Yeah. Too bad for Damien.
It's time.
Too bad for Damien Priest.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a run, though.
Yeah.
Good cash in at WrestleMania, and he's done his part and stepped up and became bigger than he was.
Yeah. Hopefully his momentum carries through, and this is just kind of a bump in the road.
Hopefully that DP keeps going hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to keep a DP going without a good partner, but if you can.
Yeah, that DP is going solo right now. So
yeah, right.
Unless Rhea is going to be his DP partner.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Buddy Matthews got to get a call. So so we're going to go to the main event right now for the WWE Undisputed Championship. We had Solo Sokoa against Cody Rhodes, and we didn't know at the time of our predictions episode it was a Bloodline Rules match. And
I don't think anybody knew.
A big. No, they said it the Friday before SummerSlam.
Yes,
It was brought up the Friday before SummerSlam. Right. Solo challenged him. I wasn't a big fan of this match at all. The Bloodline Rules matches are that's just a cheap way of telling the crowd that everybody's going to get involved. Like, that's all. When someone says Bloodline Rules match, I know now that it's just like, everybody's just going to run in at some point.
Yeah.
There's going to be, people are just watching the entranceway, waiting for people to come out. They weren't even invested in the match. I
was wondering if John Cena or The Rock or The Undertaker was going to show up, because Bloodline Rules matches, in the past, I mean, we've only had one, but we knew what happened. So, and Cody Rhodes has better odds in these Bloodline Rules matches with history now, too, as he said in the post-show press conference. So,
yeah. So, I mean, when it was Cody and Solo by themselves, I think they did a lot better than I expected them to do, and kind of kept, like the one-on-one aspect going.
Yeah, like the Cody cutter off the top of the rope and stuff like that was cool, and they had some good spots, right? But
yeah, Solo was registering and selling really well. I think that it was, if they would have just kept that aspect, obviously they couldn't for the finish, but
right.
And then the Tongan twins came out and just kind of interrupted, and I was like, "Here we go!" Oh my God, bro! I almost fucking forgot.
Yeah,
I almost forgot. Yeah. Okay, so when Cody Rhodes was coming out to the ring, how could we have ever fucking forgot?
Oh
this?
Yes, shit.
He was walking through the backstage, and we had an appearance from Glock Anderson. So good.
Yes.
Oh my God! I almost jumped right out of my seat.
Oh yeah, I popped.
And he even said
for that. Yeah,
and he almost like foreshadowed it because he said you have some friends here, and he was like, and even some you don't know about, and he put his finger up like this, and it was really subtle the way he did it.
Oh, I didn't catch that like that.
Yeah,
I was just popping.
He said you have some friends here, and he put the finger up, and I said, but the way how when Glock Anderson talks, you're just
well, I was
focused on what he's saying.
I was trying to look at his waistband on his pants to see if he was packing. I was waiting for that seeing if he had that Glock 17, that Glock 19, that Glock. I was wondering what he had because I knew shit was about to pop.
I've seen Arn Anderson's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I've seen a lot of his matches back in the day, and I can tell you he's packing.
Oh baby.
He's got a Glock 11 and a half at least in them trunks.
So. Shout out to Glock Anderson.
Yeah, so I mean, you get older, you get a gut, some of that goes away. But it's like I was so hyped. And then when
good entrance too, the way they walked in, he picked up the mask too, and they had a few of them throughout the night, of course, where they had them walking into which was cool. It's a little different from
Yeah, I feel like less is more with those when you start overdoing them. It's a little bit
did
much.
do it a lot.
Like it's kind of cool to have them special, but like every match had one of those, and it kind of is what it is. But I don't think anybody in their right mind thought that Solo was going to win this match.
No, most likely
like I said,
not.
the Tongan twins came out, started beating up Cody, and then all of a sudden Kevin Owens came out, and then Randy Orton came out. Why wouldn't they come out together? Why would they be one at a time? That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Right.
Because they had to get their music in. They fought off the Tongan twins, and Jacob Fatu came out and did that sick splash off the top through the announcer table. Rolled Cody in. They had some brutal shots with the steel steps.
Yes. Yeah, the run-ins and like the spacing and like the timing of that they did everything. It just like seemed like very long and drawn out. Like,
right.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with these Bloodline Rules matches.
Right.
They're absolute cinema.
Yeah.
And like, dude, the cinema behind these matches, it takes me out of like the match in the ring. Like I want to see like the performance in the ring,
the flow and the momentum kind of how.
Right.
Yeah.
Just everything just seemed kind of wonky, and everybody was waiting for their cue, and I don't know, it was too much, for me anyway. These Bloodline Rules matches are a little bit too much, but Solo had the upper hand until he didn't, because we finally got what we were all waiting for. And the head, oh, so good.
And it was different too. The crowd went crazy. We all knew what was about to happen because we seen the animation on the screen, right? The head of the table, or whatever it said, head of the table, or Roman Reigns, or his logo, or
the graphic.
The graphic, sorry, yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, it's early. And like his music was different though. They switch up his music. I don't know if I like it yet. I got to hear it again.
It was almost what the music that they used at WrestleMania when they had the live like orchestra or whatever. Like,
oh, okay.
It kind of sounded similar to that.
I wonder if they got it online or YouTube, like the MP3, like the
quality version. It was essentially, a lot of it was the same after it got, the intro was longer, but then the actual that was all the same.
It was the same. I thought it was a little different.
I felt like it. Okay. Maybe not. I was hyped. I don't know. Maybe I missed it.
Well, the crowd was so loud too. It was kind of hard to tell. But one hell of a pop, huh?
Oh my God. This was what the WWE wanted Roman Reigns to be back in like 2018, when like he was the big dog.
True.
They wanted him to be the baby face and everybody rejected him. So he turned heel and became the tribal chief. And like, now they got it. Like,
yeah.
Wow. What a reaction. What a return. Made his little slow walk to the ring. And, the commentator's like, who is he here for? I wonder who the fuck he's here for. Come on now. So, I don't know. He comes in the ring and didn't waste any time. He just ran in the ring, hit Solo with the Superman punch without the glove on. He fisted Solo.
Oh yeah, he got one hell of a fist.
Yeah. And hit him with the spear.
Yep.
Rolled out of the ring. Cody looked perplexed, and he got up.
Did you think for a second? I was like, maybe he's gonna hit Cody too for a second. I was like,
yeah. I thought about that for a second, but I knew he wasn't. I don't know. At the end of the day, Cody was going to win this. Cody got up, hit Solo with the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody retains the undisputed championship, and they Roman and Cody give each other like a sexually charged glance at the end, and Roman kind of nods to him.
Yeah, he definitely nodded to him and gave him a little bit of respect. You could tell. I couldn't tell what he was saying, unfortunately, because he was saying something, but it was cool. It was good.
What do you think of the OTC shirt? It took me probably about 45 minutes to think in my head what it stood for.
My brain was fried. I had to look it up online.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I figured it out after a little bit.
Well, the announcers kind of said it too after. I think right when I was like Googling it.
Oh. Okay, that went over my head then.
Yeah, I think they kind of might have said something that alluded to what it meant, or maybe that was in the press show or the post show kind of. I don't know, but it is. What is it again?
Original Tribal Chief.
I was trying to think of something funny. But I don't know.
Oh yeah. I couldn't. I've been thinking for 2 days for something funny to say here, but I can't do it. Sorry guys, we're not always on. But
on the clip,
I thought like I saw it and I was thinking of. I saw it and I was thinking, the old like oil company STP. So like. I was like, what the fuck, is he sponsored by an oil company now? But like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Remember that fucking dude back in the day we knew? FTP, Stone Temple Pilot. Like,
yeah.
So anyway, it is what it is. Cody got the win. He's still the undisputed champion. The original tribal chief, Roman Reigns, has returned to hopefully take his rightful spot at the head of the table.
Over the counter.
Brandy Rhodes tweeted that we're not going to invite him to Thanksgiving quite yet, or something like that. And everybody commented, "He's coming and he's sitting at the head of the table." Like it was funny as hell. Like,
who asked you to come to my barbecue, bitch?
Jesus Christ, we need more Brandy Rhodes on TV. I never thought in a million years I'd ever say that.
Yeah, no. She does a good job on social media though. Every once in a while, she drops a gem. Yeah.
Well, this was a good one, man. And overall, SummerSlam was great. I really didn't have any complaints. We finally get the tribal chief back. That not the one we deserve, but the one that we've wanted.
Yeah.
And this is it was a great finish to. I felt like that match was kind of losing its. Everybody was kind of in the crowd was kind of just out of it until Roman Reigns came back.
Just
and I
waiting.
Actually did. Yeah, and I did speak with someone that was at SummerSlam that said that they've been to a lot of wrestling events, and that was probably one of the loudest pops they'd ever heard, like live.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. They had said like it was like bar none, like one of the loudest, if not the loudest, pops. And they said they had been to a whole lot of wrestling.
And
events,
the way they set it up, having it such a big venue too, it was smart to do that because it would be the loudest, right? Because you knew it was going to be probably one of the loudest anyways. So if you have an arena filled with that many people, or a stadium filled with that many people, and to see some of the crowd videos of the people just going absolutely bananas, losing their shit, like
tell me when I'm telling lies.
It was great. Yeah, good job WWE, good job Triple H, one hell of a SummerSlam, like very impressive.
Yeah, agreed. And for the most part, I'm looking forward to these storylines building moving forward. So they did their job. I mean, like I said, there's a couple things I was a little bit unimpressed with, but I can't have my cake and eat it too. And like we said before, if I knew everything that was going to happen or everything happened that I wanted to happen, it wouldn't be fun to watch. So had a great time overall.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see where they go with it on Raw with the Liv and Dom and Judgment Day and Punk and Drew and Seth and Smack. Well, Gunther too being the champion. Who's gonna challenge him next? I don't know. I mean, I guess, ladies and gentlemen, Ludwig Kaiser.
He's coming back.
So is that something we're gonna see? You think?
Hopefully at some point. Yeah.
There's plenty of competitors for Gunther to go against. I'm not sure where they're quite going to go with that, but we will see. And he's a champion, of course, so that's exciting because it's very well deserved. And then over on SmackDown, of course, we had the bootleg Bloodline winning those tag team titles, right? So we'll see where they go with that. And then Roman Reigns is back. He's going to have his feud with Solo and the Bloodline. And how's Cody going to fit into all of this? It's going to be interesting to see. Of course,
new IC title champion on Raw, new US champion on SmackDown.
Right. So a lot has changed going into both brands. So we'll see who gets lost in the mix, who fights from the bottom and emerges to be the next new contenders and earns their spot. It'll be very cool to see because the next big like PLE that we're gonna have should be Survivor Series, I guess, if you look at it like that. We should have more before that, but I'm not sure what's next.
Battle in Berlin or Bash in Berlin or whatever is August 31st. So
okay.
Got a few weeks away.
Then what's after that one?
Bad Blood.
Oh, Bad Blood is what, September then? Or October?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then we got Survivor Series. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Ooh, yeah. So
we're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it makes sense with all these stories going forward to lead to Bad Blood too. And yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
SummerSlam. Killed it. Killed it.
That's right.
Freaking right.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
Great time. Looking forward to seeing what happens unfolding up in the upcoming weeks. And we are going to unfold it with you guys here on the Ringside Renaissance.
Yeah. And let us know in the comments what you thought about SummerSlam as a whole. If you were there, what you thought about it. How was the pop? How was the audience? How was the food at the venue? How was the whole overall experience? If you were able to go there and be part of like the weekend and check out the other events that they had going on, let us know too. That's pretty cool. I love that WWE makes the whole experience of the weekend or week now for everybody, even if you can't attend. So let us know in the comments what you thought about SummerSlam. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share all these videos. It's always a pleasure with all of y'all here in the IWC talking about this. It was very fun watching it. And very fun on X and social media, seeing everybody's thoughts already and the IWC chiming in and everybody's different views and opinions on it.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. So that's Pretty Deadly Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy. And I'm
Boy, yeah, oh yeah. Yes, boy. I'm sorry. Fuck, I'm sorry.
Yes, boy. And I'm Andrew. Kombat Jones. And this was our SummerSlam review for WWE. Make sure you like this video. We're going to come find you. You're going to get the little GTS, something like that.
We'll get Ringside Renaissance will give you the DP.
Yeah, the DP. You got it. Yeah. You've been listening to the Ringside Renaissance Wrestling Podcast. Peace.